My name is Bruce. Jenny, I live in Southeast Alabama here in Dothan. Primarily today, I wanted to talk about some just bee basic topics. And it's going to be kind of a general type video for folks that are looking at getting into beekeeping, say new beekeepers, those who have kind of been stirring that idea around in their brain over the years and they think it'd be kind of cool to get in bees, or those who are serious about it, and even those who are kind of getting started with bees and want to kind of go back to some of the bee basics and maybe some things I've learned over the years, maybe some thoughts I have on that and ways that maybe you can prevent some of the things I've done wrong in the past and maybe get started on a strong footing. So this is going to be real basic stuff, and it's going to be my opinion, and hopefully it'll be helpful to somebody out there. The first thing I like to talk to for those who might be looking at getting into beekeeping is that there are three basic categories of beekeepers that we hear out there in the world. And the first is the hobby beekeeper. Hobbyist is what they're known as, kind of in the beekeeping world. The hobbyist beekeeper is one who has some hives, just a few hives, whether it's in their backyard or in the back pasture or just in some place not even on their property, but they're doing it as a hobby. That's how I want. That's when I got started. That's what I thought I would be, as a hobby beekeeper, is to have a couple of colonies and a couple of hives there to just look into and be able to learn about bees. And so that's what I think of. Probably a vast majority, the largest number of beekeepers I would say in the world are probably hobby beekeepers. When you say a number of colonies, that's kind of, you could have 50 colonies and be a hobby beekeeper where you just don't really, it's just fun for you. You're not really trying to make a living at it. My guess is if you have that many, you're probably in the next category. But I think of a hobby beekeeper as being someone like my friend Brian Coper, Castle Hives. He tries to stay around 15 to 20 tops. If he may get a few more, a few less, but he just wants it to he loves to do it. It's a hobby to him. Now he does sell some honey. He does some things like that, which everybody should, in my opinion. If you want to make a little bit of money, at least enough to pay for the addiction, the beekeeping addiction, I think you should sell some bee products. And it's, to me, it's real satisfying to pull the honey, the beeswax, and things like that, and be able to take the creation of the bees and share it with others, whether for a profit or just as gifts. I think it's a great thing. And so, to me, that's the hobbyist beekeeper. It's not going to be something that you're going to look at as a stream of income to help provide for your family. It's not going to be looked at as a major business. It's just kind of something that you have for fun, and your life doesn't depend on it. Really, it's just something you do for fun, as a hobby, as any other hobby that you might have, like golfing or boating or fishing or anything like that. It's just a hobby that you have, but you're not planning on making a living at it or making a significant income. That's what I identify as a hobby beekeeper. The second category is what I feel like I am. It's they call them sideliners, a sideliner beekeeper. And I personally have, I start off with the two colonies. I built up to 150 colonies. I usually run between 100 and 150. Right now, I think I have around 120. I think anywhere between, just say the number, so the number 30, 40, 50 up to 200 or so, I think, or even more. If you're really efficient, might be a sideline beekeeper, a sideliner beekeeper. It's just a part-time job. It's a sideline hustle for me. I say it's just a part-time job. It's way more than that. I think about it a lot. Every spare minute, it seems like I'm thinking about how I can better grow my bees, keep them alive, how I can make a business out of it. And I spend a lot of time bottling honey and selling things and packaging up stuff to ship out. So it is a part-time business for me, though I do have a full-time job. I work as a physical therapist in a local hospital here. So now that's, to me, that's what a sideliner beekeeper is. And there's all variations in all these categories. There's no hard, fast rule as to who is who. And then, of course, the third and probably the most grueling type of beekeeping is commercial beekeepers. And commercial beekeepers are people who do it as their full-time income. That's what they do for a living. That's how they provide for their families, put food on the table, and it is their life. And I think, full-time beekeepers, commercial beekeepers can be anywhere from 300 or 400 colonies all the way up to tens of thousands of colonies. And there's so many different opportunities of things that they can do, that any of us can do, really, from commercial beekeepers. And I've even been involved in some of these things myself as a sideliner. You can do pollination services. Of course, you can sell the honey, the products from the hive, and you can sell bees, queens. You can do this at any level, honestly, but there's so many different opportunities out there as beekeepers. And so those are the three basic types or categories of beekeepers, and there is no hard fast rule. Some people may say there is a hard fast rule, but I say there is not. I mean, I've seen people in all three categories of all different sizes and shapes and sizes of colonies, styles of beekeeping, and different goals and opportunities out there. So I think most watching this video or listening after the fact are probably in that, I would guess, in that hobby beekeeping category. And I gear my channel hopefully towards people primarily probably in the more hobby slash sideliner style. Most commercial beekeepers kind of have a system they've figured out and they do pretty well with that. And I learn a lot from them, probably not a whole lot the other way around. So.